Hello everyone and welcome to the Universal Studios tag. I was tagged to do this by Emily and Ashley over at Travelling Magical, so I will link their channel down below. I'm not going to tag anyone in particular, but if you want to do this tag, then if you love Universal, go along with it, you can do the tag. You're tagged. This tag is made up of 12 questions all about Universal Studios, so let's just jump straight in and get started. Question number 1, how many times have you been to Universal Studios? So I have only ever been to Orlando Universal. I would love to do Hollywood, but I've just not been yet. We'll go one day. I have been to Orlando Universal on 4 different holidays, so when I go to Orlando we'll do a few days at Universal. I think last time we only did 2 days, and then the times before that is like 2 or 3 days max. So overall probably about 10-ish days spent at Universal, which isn't a lot, but it's a great park and I love it. Question number 2. Have you been when a new ride has opened? I don't think so, although last time we were there I'm sure Kong was pretty new, but I don't think it opened when we were there, but the queues were like 4 hours. I mean, that's nothing compared to Hagrid's motorbike, which was like 9-hour queues the whole day. I think that's just insane. If you're waiting in those queues, you need to get a grip. So no, I don't think I've been there on a new ride. Oh my god, I didn't even mention, I've got my ET top on for the occasion. It says, if lost, phone home. Anyway, back to the questions. Question number 3, do you like butterbeer? I love butterbeer. I have it if we go to the studios in London, when we're at Universal. Yeah, I love butterbeer. My favourite is the cold version. I'm not really a fan of the frozen, and I've never tried the hot, but I can't imagine that I would like the hot very much, but cold is definitely my favourite. And I actually did a video last year where I made butterbeer, so I will leave the link to that in the description. It was very easy, it was very yummy, made me feel like I was in Florida. So if you like butterbeer, give that a try. Question number 4, when is your favourite time to visit Universal? So I have been in March and I have been in May and July. So granted, the time that we went in May, I can't really remember it. I can't remember what it was like. I was only 4, so I can't really comment on that. But when we went in March, it was fairly quiet. All the parks were fairly quiet. I think we timed it really good. It was just before spring break, or there was like a couple of people on spring break, but it wasn't heaving. So it was great. And if we went back, we would definitely go back in March because it was just perfect weather-wise. It was roasting, but it wasn't like that horrible summer mugginess. July is obviously ridiculously hot. I've been in July a couple of times and it's really hot. I mean, it's not unbearable, like we didn't ever struggle with the heat, but it definitely is not the most comfortable. March was perfect. Next question, what does Universal offer that Disney doesn't, and vice versa? So obviously at Universal you've got a lot more thrill rides than at Disney. At Disney you've got like 3. Tower to Tower, Rock and Roller Coaster, and Expedition Everest, maybe? That's about it. Whereas at Universal it's all big roller coasters and stuff, and that's great. When I was younger I used to really love roller coasters, so I've been on literally everything at Universal, Islands of Adventure and Disney. And the rides are definitely more for thrill seekers at Universal. And then another difference that I've noticed, mostly through watching people like Tim Tracker's vlogs, Universal is not as strictly in character as Disney, which I prefer. I know a lot of people wouldn't prefer that, but I do like that. You can have a conversation with someone at Universal, whereas in Disney they're so in character that you can only talk to them about their world. Like they don't know stuff outside of their world, so yeah, it's a bit awkward. But yeah, so I noticed it especially during like his Halloween Horror Night vlogs and stuff. When the actors were jumping out at him when they realised it was Tim Tracker, they were like, hi Tim, like talking to him and incorporating that into the scare. Whereas Disney, you wouldn't get that at Disney. It's very strict. I feel like it's very strict at Disney. If you wander from what you are meant to say, then yeah. I love both Universal and Disney. When we go to Florida, we stay in Disney, so Disney definitely trumps Universal in that sense, but I love a few days out to Universal as well. Islands Adventure is probably my favourite. No, Universal, I don't know, I can't decide between the two. I love Universal, I love Disney, and they're both fab for different reasons. The next question is favourite restaurant at City Walk, and I'll be honest, we've never really spent much time at City Walk. Before, I have never been old enough to drink in Florida. Obviously in America the age is 21, so I've never been old enough every time we've been there to go to bars and stuff, which I would love to do next time. I'd love to like go through all the bars, get all cocktails and stuff, I would love that, and I'll try out all the food as well. But when we've been as well, we have the meal plan at Disney, so we tend to like get back at night and just have a pizza or whatever, and just having something in the parks during the day. But I've not been to any, and I wouldn't really know any either, so I'll have to pass on that one. Next question is, have you ever been to Halloween Horror Nights? And I haven't. I've never been in October or September, whenever it starts, but I would love to go. I said this to Stephen just last week. I was like, if we go to Florida again, I would love to go at Halloween. Mickey's not so scary, and I would love to do Halloween Horror Nights. And I know I've spoke before about being very claustrophobic and stuff, but this is something I've noticed. When it's like a walk through horror house, it doesn't bother me at all, because Stephen was like, you couldn't do that, you would freak. And I wouldn't, because I mean, I've did Alton Towers Scarefest, which I know is not on the same level as Universal, obviously, but it's the same kind of idea. Like, you walk through, it's all like, you walk through and it's very like on either side of you, and it just doesn't bother me. And me and my friend used to go to this other farm as well, and it was the same. You used to have to squeeze through quite tight spaces, and they would blindfold you and stuff. That sounds like a really kinky farm or something, but it was legit, I promise. And it just doesn't bother me for sure. I think because I know those people work there, and if the worst did happen and I did freak out, then I would be able to get out very, very easily. So yeah, I could handle Halloween Horror Nights. I would love it one day. Next question is favourite Harry Potter attraction and your house for a bonus point. My house is Gryffindor. I did that in a video as well. I'll put the link to that in the description as well. And my favourite ride, I mean, I've not done Escape to Gringotts because when we were there last time it was down, so I've not done that. But Forbidden Journey was amazing. I love that ride. It's so good. Like the bit with the spiders and the Dementors, and yeah, Forbidden Journey. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously I've never been on Gringotts, so I don't know what it's like, but I don't think it could top that for me. I love that. Love that ride. And even that whole land as well, like I definitely prefer the Islands of Adventure side of the Wizarding World rather than Universal. I just think Hogsmeade and having the castle, and maybe it's because that's the first one that I visited. Obviously Diagon Alley didn't exist when that first opened, so a couple of times I went, there was only the Hogsmeade side, and yeah, I think that's just got a special place in my heart now. Diagon Alley is impressive and there's lots of cool things and hidden things that you can see and stuff, but I definitely think I prefer Hogsmeade. And I mean, there's the castle. Diagon Alley might have a fire-breathing dragon, but Hogsmeade has the castle. Next question is, have you ridden the crazy coasters like Hulk and Rip Ride Rocket? I have been on most of the rides at Universal. Rip Ride Rocket, I know there's like secret songs you can unlock and stuff, but for me it has to be Kanye West Stronger every single time. Every single time I'm on that, I get Kanye West Stronger. It's just the song that I associate with that ride, so whenever I go on it I need to get that one. I really don't like the bit where it goes straight up, but once you're over the top it's fine. probably not my favourite ride. I think my favourite ride is probably Spider-Man. Even though it's like a simulator type ride, I love the Spider-Man, and here's a debate for you. What is better, Spider-Man at Islands of Adventure or Transformers at Universal? Because I say Spider-Man, Steven says Transformers, and we argue about it all the time. I mean, it's been 4 years since we were at Florida and we still argue about this. It's Spider-Man. Spider-Man is better. Let me know down below what you think is better, because help a gal out. Spider-Man. Next question is favourite memory on our last trip, just being the first time that Steven has ever been. When I was younger, I remember Jaws, Twister. I really love old school Universal, so like Twister, Disaster, Jaws, Back to the Future, although Back to the Future traumatised me for life when I was 4. I don't know why my mum and dad thought it was a good idea to take me on that, because I'm still traumatised. Maybe one of my favourites actually is when my dad lost his hat on Jurassic Park. And then my sister Lindsay, she was like, oh, I don't want to go on a water ride, I don't want to get wet. And we were like, nah, it's not a water ride, it's fine. It's a water ride, you get quite wet. I can't remember if like water knocked my dad's hat off or just going down the hill it like flew off. But we were standing like on the bridge bit where you go across, or no, we were standing at the fence next to that restaurant place, and we can see my dad's hat bobbing in the water. I don't think he ever got it back. My dad's lost quite a lot of hats in Florida actually, but no, I didn't get that one back. Hi. So I just had a thought about what is my favourite Universal memory, and I can't believe I forgot, given that I'm wearing an ET top. But when I was 4 and I went on ET, and ET was like, bye Lorin, and 4-year-old me was just like, oh, ET knows my name. That is definitely a moment when my mind was blown at Universal Studios, and I thought that was amazing, and I just thought I would add that in. So that's that, but I'll let you get back to the actual video now. Bye! But as I say, I've got lots of amazing... Actually, does anyone remember a dinosaur? A yellow dinosaur. I mean, I think it was like a Triceratops, like Sarah from Land Before Time, and I think that was on my very first trip when I was 4, and this is all I remember is this dinosaur. No one knows what I'm talking about. Decide if this dinosaur was at Universal, which I think it was, or if it was in Animal Kingdom, but I think it was Universal. So if you've seen that dinosaur, let me know that I'm not dreaming and this does actually exist. And what it was it next to Jurassic Park? Was that Jurassic Park before Jurassic Park? I have no idea. But there was definitely a dinosaur. Next question is, have you ever been to Volcano Bay? And we haven't. When we were last in Florida, it was just getting built. Every time we drove past, like when we went to Discovery Cove and Universal, driving from Disney, we could see them building the actual volcano. We were like, that looks so cool, wish that was open now, but I think it opened in like the June maybe, and we were there in the March, so no, we've never been, but next time. And the last question is, have you ever stayed at a Universal hotel? And if so, which one? And we haven't, again, but this is definitely something that we want to look into for our next trip, because I believe, please let me know if I'm wrong, but I believe if you stay in the hotel then you get like fast pass, the express pass things. So that is definitely on the cards for next time. I would love to stay at the Hard Rock, just because I always love going to Hard Rock Cafe, so I feel like that would be pretty cool. Cabana Bay obviously looks very nice as well, and my friend Tammy's going to Florida and she's staying at, is it the Endless Summer Nights Resort? I think that's the Universal one. She's staying there, so I'm excited to hear what she thinks about that. But we're definitely going to stay at like a night or 2 nights next time that we go. So that'll be very cool. So that is the end of all the questions. Please let me know what you think Universal Studios is, what your favourite ride is, your earliest memory. Let me know if that dinosaur exists. Also let me know what you think is better between Spider-Man and Transformers, and if you want to say Transformers, don't bother commenting because it's Spider-Man. And that's it for today's video, so I will see you next Sunday in the next one. Bye!